All right, so I have this question here from the Telegram group, and it says, "Good evening, sir. My name is Michael Rigobert Ramsey, and my brand name is R Designs. I've been going through people's past questions and your answers, and I really think you can help me find clarity in my graphic design journey. I've been a designer for about 3 years now. I didn't get the chance to pursue a formal graphic design course. I learned from someone and through practice. I'm currently experiencing a lack of clarity about which area of graphic design I want to specialize in. I'm particularly interested in branding, but I find it hard to take on contracts because I'm unsure whether I am up to standard. I know I am better than many designers who are getting jobs, yet I still doubt myself. Could you please help explain what branding really entails, or recommend a course or resource that can help me become more proficient in this area?" All right, thank you very much for this question, Michael. Now, reading this question, to be honest with you, I don't know how to feel about this question. I feel somewhat offended when I read this question. And that's because it's coming from my Telegram group. It's coming from the TA community. I feel offended. I feel offended because TA community is, when it comes to information about what I'm doing in terms of teaching and empowering designers with the knowledge of design, it's the first place I put out my information on my design academy. And I just started one about how many weeks ago? Almost 2 weeks now. A little over 2 weeks now. But yet, on the design community, I have this question. And if you are listening to this on the Telegram group, not on the podcast, if you just scroll up a bit, you would see me saying enroll for this PMA class. I have a PMA logo design class there. This is the 8th edition in about 2 years. But then I still have people ask me questions like this, recommend something for me that I can learn about a particular aspect of design. That worries me about designers. It worries me because I realize that designers, there's a mentality designers have that doesn't allow designers to reach a particular height career-wise and to earn as they should earn as designers. I've done a podcast on this before, just that it's so old. I don't want to dig in to recommend that podcast, but then I would address it again. There are 3 phases to you building a career in a particular industry, a successful career. 3 phases. One thing I realize is that a lot of designers go through 2 phases. They leave the 3rd phase and they expect to get returns, adequate returns on just 2 phases. It's never going to work. A successful career runs on 3 engines. 3 engines. If one engine is not working, that career cannot lift up properly, can never reach the height it's meant to reach. So if you're a designer listening to me here right now, I'm going to say this one more time, and I probably wouldn't address this again on the Telegram group or on the podcast. The first stage is the stage of inspiration. Inspiration. And this happens. You see, when you see something, you are inspired by it. You can get inspired by it. If there's something you connect with, you get inspired. The first time I found graphic design, I say this, I've told this story many times. I saw a classmate of mine in university designing a flyer, and it was cutting out an image of me and some other person and was making a flyer for a fellowship dinner or an invite. And he cut out this picture of me and a lady, and he changed the background, and he made it look so good. And I was inspired by that, by just looking at that. It was raw inspiration. I was held like in a trance. Like, how is somebody doing that? How is someone creating their own world? That inspired me. I was inspired. I was in awe. I asked him, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm doing graphic design." To be honest with you, I didn't know much about graphic design there. I used to hear about it, but I didn't know about it. I'd never seen somebody doing it before. And I saw this, my classmate, doing it. And I kept it in my heart. I said, "Tola, I want to do that one day." I can't believe somebody is doing that and getting paid. I don't know if he was getting paid by the fellowship, but then he was doing it. I said, "This is just an amazing thing. This is amazing. This guy is playing God. He's playing God, creating his own universe, his own world, changing background, changing colors of things, just manipulating things. This is like magic." I was inspired. Inspiration is strong, but then it can be very fleeting. Inspiration is strong, can be very fleeting. Have you ever gone somewhere before and there's someone who is a public speaker that comes to talk about career, education, finances, religion, whatever it is? And while the person is talking, you have goosebumps. And like, wow, this is just the most amazing thing I've ever heard. And then the session closes. Everybody goes. You go home. About 8 hours later, somebody asks you, "How was the program?" Like, "It was incredible." "What did the person say?" "I can't really remember. But he just talked about money, he talked about career, but I just spoke so well." "What did he say?" Nothing you can hold on to. Inspiration is like a raving fire. It can happen in a few minutes, devour a lot, but then after a while you wouldn't even see the fire. You understand? It's gone. It's gone. It's like a tornado. A tornado is strong winds, but just a couple of seconds and it's gone to the next county. You understand? A lot of designers stay on inspiration. I love design. I love what I just saw. I love it. Oh, it looks so good. Oh, your colors look so good. Your fonts look so good. I really love what you're doing. I love it. But you can't stay on inspiration. What inspiration should do is to trigger an interest. You go to the next phase of interest. What does interest mean? It means you begin to ask questions. After the goosebumps, you begin to ask questions. How do they do this? Why do they do this? How much do they get paid doing this? How long will it take to learn this? What do I need to do this? What do I need to do? Interest. You see, when I got inspired by that, my classmate, we're in our final year. We're writing our project and everything. So I was still distracted by some things, but that inspiration was inside me. And I said, I want to do this thing. And when we left school, for some reason, I wasn't sent on NYSC. And this, my classmate, my friend too, wasn't sent on NYSC. So I was at home, nothing to do. And then I remembered what happened. I saw that although I didn't feel that ginger anymore, but I remember I saw my friend Fash do some things. Let me call him up and ask him about this thing. And I asked him, I said, "Remember that day I came to your room, you were designing an Ivy?" He said, "Yes." I said, "What do you need to design stuff like that?" And for the first time, he told me about Photoshop. Remember, when I was inspired, all I just had was inspiration. I loved what I was seeing. I was euphoria. But I didn't ask the necessary questions. What are you designing this thing with? I didn't ask him the necessary questions. And so when I asked him, he said, "Oh, I'm designing this with Photoshop." Oh, no, he didn't tell me Photoshop. He told me CorelDRAW. He said, "I'm designing with CorelDRAW." I never heard of Photoshop. CorelDRAW was the first thing I heard of. I said, "CorelDRAW, what is that?" He said, "It's a software, a design software." I said, "Where can I get it?" He was in Lagos, I was in Abuja. I said, "Go around Abuja, just go to a market where they print and stuff like that. You will get Corel Draw is very popular if you have a print hub. I was clueless, so I went to a bookshop. If they sell Corel, they said, we don't sell Corel Draw. You want to go to this place where they print, where printers hang out. And I went there. They told me Corel Draw. It was a CD. A CD. This said on a CD then. It was very cheap, about 500 naira, 200 naira. A lot of things were bootleg then. But he didn't know what to do with it. Didn't know, so I put it aside for a while. I said, okay, I don't know what to do with this thing. And then I need to have this was many years ago. This was about 2000 and 2002, 2003. You understand? That's many years ago. That's over 20 years ago. And so there was no internet to just check how to use Photoshop or how to use Corel Draw. There was no internet for that. So I just had this thing, didn't know, no information. And I called this my friend. My friend said, I have some books, but then I can't get across to you. And I was busy working on a yearbook for a secondary school then. It was already working with this thing. And so I put it aside and I just took my dad's laptop and started looking for the next graphic design interface or software I could use. And then I started using PowerPoint. PowerPoint was the first thing I started using to design with. You understand? PowerPoint was already on the system. I didn't know how to use this Corel. But PowerPoint was limited. And I saw a lot of incredible things when I went to that print hub. I saw incredible things that people were doing with Corel Draw. They were making flyers for churches and stuff like that. And I said, I want to be able to do this thing. I had the interest. I'd asked the questions. I had the software. I didn't know how to use it. I've gone from inspiration to interest. Interest. A lot of us have interest as designers. Interest. Ask questions, Corel Draw. And because we have the internet now, you can just ask, how do I use Corel Draw? And then you begin to get tutorials that begin to teach you how to do it, use it for free. You understand? So as you are learning, millions of other people are also using that material that you are using to learn. So there's nothing unique about your learning. Nothing. Because you are drinking from a public pool. You are drinking from a public pool. So you are drinking, other people are drinking. You understand? Other people are drinking from it. There's nothing unique. That's why you feel an insecurity when you go and learn yourself for free. Because that video you're watching, open to other people too. You understand? You are learning for free. Your interest has taken you to this place of a public pool where you can learn for free. And that's what I did. I didn't even have that public pool because there was no internet. So I went to go and meet some people at the print hub and I said, how much will you take for you to teach me? And first guy told me 30K. I said, I don't have 30K. And I said, I need somebody to teach me. And there was a guy that offered to teach me, I think for 10K then. 10K was a lot of money for someone that just came out of school. In fact, I had to borrow that money from my mom. You understand? And I paid him the first installment. I can't remember how much he charged me. I think it was more than 10K, maybe 20K or so. He charged me 20K. And I paid the first installment, I think 10K. And I was meant to pay the other 10K. And after I'd graduated from the class. And he started to teach me. He taught me how to use some tools. And the first 2 classes, I said I could do better than he could do. You understand? I could do better because he just told me to go back home, one assignment, do business cards. By the time I came back, I'd done business cards, letterhead, flyers, I'd done everything. He just taught me the tools. And he told me, you've already learned everything I wanted to teach you. I can't teach you anymore. I think I'll have to end this class here. And so all I did was just pay that 10K. He said, I can't teach you anymore. You need to go to someone with more experience to teach you. So I looked around, no one with more experience. And this is when I had to go to school to study graphic design, computer interactive multimedia. I had to invest. That's the second stage. By the time you get your interest will take you down the route of a very broad road. Broad road that other people have. Trust me, a lot of people have interest too, like you. And they are making use of the resources that you are also finding too. Interest is a broad road. Inspiration is a highway. But then you need to go somewhere narrower. which is a place of investment. You need to be invested. This is where you start learning secrets. This is where you start learning what every other person doesn't know. Secrets. People don't understand that the invested person would always make more money than the interested person, and definitely way more than the inspired person. The invested person learns what other people do not know. He drinks from a private reservoir, not from a public pond. And this is where confidence is built. This is when you are working with the client, you are sure that when the client says, go away, I'm not working with you, I can find another designer. You are so confident that most designers they would find will not have the information that you have. When I work with clients a lot of times, some of them I say, no, you know what? Just for when I charge them initially, they'll be like, just for graphic design? What do you mean? My brother can do it, my sister can do it, my husband does it on weekends. I don't need you. Give them 2 days, 3 days, 1 week. They come back and say, okay, all right, let's do it your way. First of all, I'll ask them, what did your brother do for you? Show it to me. Some of them are so embarrassed to show. They say, don't forget about what my brother did for me. Let's just start working with you. How much did you say that your money is? Do you think it's because of my inspiration or my interest? It's because I'm invested. I have something that a lot of people do not know. And that's why I'm offended by this message. Because this person is on my Telegram channel where I share information about how to get invested. And I must say, to get invested for cheap. For cheap. It's very cheap. I learned, the first person that taught me graphic design taught me 20,000 naira. 20,000 naira. About 20 years ago, when I started to teach people, I started to teach them for 30,000 naira, almost 20 years later. For 30,000 naira, 10,000 naira difference. 10,000 naira difference, but people are still not willing to get invested. This year I'm doing it for 50,000 naira. This year is 50,000 naira. And I might stop altogether. You understand, doing it because I realize that the mentality is bad. You understand? So I might just start doing it as a private thing and not open it up anymore. Because the truth of the matter is that people are not willing to get invested. They're entitled to free content because they think the University of YouTube is enough. But the University of YouTube is good enough. Is good enough for technical skills. But I must have you know that technical skills are abundant. If you're a designer, technical skills are abundant. And that's why with my course, and I'm not trying to do a promo for my course here, but this person has triggered me to talk more about it. For people that have signed up to my PMA course, they know that the first 6 to 7 classes, you are not touching a system. In fact, you don't touch a system till about, I think, week 10 or so. You do not touch a computer. A lot of things you listen to. And I've had so many people that have gone through the class that say, sir, those are your classes that I listened to like 2 years ago. I'm still listening to it now and I'm still getting a lot from it. You become a better designer, not by what you click, but by what you hear. That is what makes you stand in the face of your client to say, I am charging this much. Technical skills are abundant. Intellectual skills are scarce. I did not get to where I am right now and have the reputation I have right now in the design industry in Nigeria because I can click the mouse the best. No. I do not present one logo with no options to a client and I have a 90% approval rate because I am the best designer. It's because I think better than most designers. And a lot of YouTube channels don't teach you how to think. You are insecure, Michael, because you are not invested. person that is not invested can never charge well. If you are doing business, I'm saying this with business. If you are doing business, you are not invested, you can never charge well. You will stutter on your rate, and clients will always intimidate you. Always intimidate you. You are not invested. You must get invested. And I can tell from your message, and other people make this mistake. I'm interested in branding. You don't even know what branding is. Because branding is not a thing. A lot of people say I'm interested in branding. What they want to learn is collateral design, logo design, brand identity. That is not the beginning and end of branding. A class in logo design is a branding class. A class in communication is a branding class. A class in accounting for your business is a branding class. A class in presentation of work is a branding class. Which area of branding are you interested in? Branding is a general perception. A class in public speaking is a branding class. A class in what do you call it? Contract management is a branding class. A class in video editing is a branding class. A class in copywriting is a branding class. Branding is everything, it's not one thing. But designers don't know this because they are not invested. They are not invested. Some days ago, I was talking to a friend of mine who is a QS, a quantity surveyor. And he just finished writing some exams. He just finished writing his professional exams. I knew this guy is much younger than me. So when I call him a friend, he's a younger friend. He comes to me as an older friend to ask for advice. And I realized about 2 years ago, he used to come to me, just graduated from school, and he'd come to me, advice, he would have contracts and projects. And I realized he just wrote his final professional exam. And then he came to me on Sunday. We go to the same church. And told me, sir, I have this problem with this client and stuff like that. And they had a contract. And a lot of time I would advise this guy. But then now he had a contract problem. I said, sir, I'm just sharing this thing with you, but I know what to do. And for a good 30 minutes, for the first time in our interaction, this guy schooled me. I sat down and I listened to this guy. And I told him, please, wait, let me write some things down. He taught me about understanding a contract. And he told me, sir, you need to get this book. I said, well, he said, this book is called Contracts and Agreements for Surveyors. I said, sir, I now realize why I'm writing these professional exams. Not everything is technical skills. Some things are intellectual skills. When I got these books about contracts and agreements, I know how to talk to people about contracts. That these people that are not telling me they are not going to pay me because of this contract. I know about arbitration. I know about litigation. I was like, I knew this guy 2 years ago. How has he become my teacher now? Because he's invested. Those exams cost him money. But then they exposed him to books that he would never have gotten out of an interest or inspiration. Now he can talk to people and charge millions. And they will wonder, hey, you shouldn't joke with this quantity surveyor. This one is not just an ordinary undergraduate. This guy is exposed. This guy has information. I'm telling you, for 2 years I've been talking to this guy for the first time. When he had gone through that course of investment and writing expensive exams, I had to keep quiet to listen to him talk about quantity surveying. I kept quiet and I told him, please send me this book. For the first time, most times I'm the one that will send him resources. For the first time, I said, I want your resources. My respect for him grew because he was now privy to privileged information. He had access to privileged information that I'd never heard before. So I hate when I hear designers tell me, I want to be better. I want to build a better business. I want to charge. Are you invested? You're not invested. Not invested. entitled mentality. And I don't mean to come down hard on you, Michael. It's not just Michael, other people. Are you invested? Most are not invested. They are still looking for free pond. Free pond. Where other people have put their mouth and contaminated the water. Would you rather drink from a river or drink from a place that has a factory, that has security guards that not everybody can walk into? Why do you think it's different with your career? Do you think it's easy to build a factory? Do you think it's easy to hire security? But a river is free. But as they are going, cows are going there, flies are going there, mosquitoes are there. There's still water there, but the water is different. So you asking me to recommend? I'm to be honest with you, I'm offended by that. They're asking me to recommend when write just some post above your message has an opening for enrollment from somebody that has over 2 decades of experience in visual branding, and you are still asking me to direct you to where you should go. I'm highly offended by that. I am. And you're not the only one. There's so many people. So many people approach me. Sir, mentor me. I want you to mentor me. I want you to mentor me. I want you to mentor me. Podcasts they don't listen to, course they don't sign up for. Oh, I want my graphic design skills to go up. I want to build a better graph. Please mentor me. All they just want is for you to just come and talk to them freely and whenever they want it to be. They don't want to be invested. They love that place of inspiration and interest, and they want to get income on that. Your income will never be sufficient on that. It takes those 3 engines. If you don't have those 3 engines, you can never move far in your career as a creative, in your career as a designer, in your career as a medical doctor. It's not just in the creative industry. If you are not invested, you can never go far. Your plane can never reach its highest altitude if it's not running on all engines. So I hope someone listens to this, not just Michael. I'm not just addressing Michael. Michael is just the archetype of a particular type of people. It's just an archetype, you understand, of a particular set of people, and there are many. There are many. We need to do better. If you want to earn better, you need to do better. If you want to grow better, you need to do better.